शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोः पदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोः कृपाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। My humble prostrations to the lotus feet of my Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Sadguru, Sri 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 Sai Kumar Ji. My humble namaskarams to Sri Kirtima Ji and Sai Shiva Hari Om to all of you. A very warm welcome to all of you in this session. It was very nice to hear you all reciting the slokas. It is really wonderful that you are learning the slokas. Some of you need a little more, a better pronunciation. So just pay attention today when the slokas are being recited today. Just observe keenly the pronunciation, catch the pronunciation and try to go according to that. Okay, it was very nice to hear all of you, especially the kids. Learn all the slokas. It's good. Babaji says that at least you should know 18 slokas. It's more than enough. 12 dhyana slokas and 18 slokas from all the 18 chapters. Okay, now getting into the subject. Today, we will be completing the second Shatkam, that is Bhakti Shatkam from the Bhagavad Gita. The last chapter from the Bhakti Shatkam is the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. So we'll be completing the second Shatkam today, and again on Tuesday, that is on 16th, we'll be moving on to the Jnana Shatkam. So, as this discourse expounds the principles of Bhakti, it is entitled Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. In this chapter, Sri Krishna declares the nature of Bhakti, the qualities of a Bhakta, and the methods of sadhana. It starts with Bhakti. This chapter starts with Bhakti and ends with Bhakti. Therefore, it is known as Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. There are only 20 slokas in this chapter. It is the smallest. This 12th and the 15th chapter are the smallest chapters in the Gita. In the previous chapter, that is the 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, Lord Krishna mentioned about Saguna form of worship, Saguna Bhakti. Saguna Bhakti is you worship God with a form. He mentioned it in the last sloka of the 11th chapter, that is the 55th sloka. Mat karma krun mat paramo mat bhakta sanga varjitaha nirvairav sarva bhuteshu yas samameti pandava. So he mentioned about Saguna Bhakti. Now in this chapter, Arjuna is puzzled. He's in confusion because he heard both about Saguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti, that is realization of Atma as well as worship of God with form. So, Saguna and Nirguna, he is perplexed and thinks, out of these two, which should I follow? Which is better? Who is superior among the two? One who worships with form or one who worships without form, the Nirguna aspect. Here, so Arjuna is in a confusion. He is asking Sri Krishna, who is greater? One who worships with form or one without form? So Sri Krishna clearly declares that I'm not concerned with which type of bhakti you're following, whether it is Saguna Bhakti or Nirguna Bhakti. Nirguna Bhakti is without form. Whichever you like, you may follow. And I'm not concerned whether my devotee is a householder or a sannyasi. I am concerned with their absolute faith, their ardent devotion, and a single-minded concentration, and constantly remembering me. He is the best among yogis. I'm concerned only with these: faith, devotion, and remembrance and meditation. So, therefore, the most important factor in spiritual life, what is it? Not which bhakti you're following, but your faith counts, your devotion counts, and your meditation, your power of concentration counts. That is the most important factor in the spiritual path. Sri Krishna again makes it clear that those devotees who are attached to the body, as well as to the world, such devotees, it is not advisable for them to directly go to Nirguna Bhakti, to worship God without form. It is not advisable. But for the aspirant who is more self-controlled, who is able to perform action without expecting any results, for him, the contemplation of Brahman is suitable. Therefore, in the initial stages of sadhana, the seeker should not be in a hurry to reach the unmanifest Nirguna Brahman. Why? See, now a small child is there. Can he sit directly in the first standard without learning to write ABC? He should go through LKG, UKG. He has to learn slanting lines, sleeping line makes A. He has to learn all that. Until and unless he knows ABC, he cannot sit in the first standard. And this first standard student cannot directly go to 10th class. He has to go step by step. After first class, second, then third, then fourth, like that. And after 10th, after schooling, only you can go to college. And even in college, if you want to do a degree, it is only after you complete your 12th standard or the intermediate, you can go for degree course. So it is all step by step. So even in the beginning, this implies to a bhakta also, to a devotee also. In the beginning, Saguna Bhakti is very, very important for a devotee in the initial stages of sadhana. Because the seeker should try to get over his lower base qualities. The mind is impure. It is filled with impurity. Since several births, we are carrying that impurity of egoism, attachment, desires, greed, anger, hatred, jealousy. So first, this has to be cleaned, because all these cause a barrier in sadhana. You can't move forward in the spiritual path. He should get over it by worship of the Lord, and gain control of the senses through performance of all good actions without any desire. That is why our Sadhguruji specifies on purity of vision is the lamp for God, purity of word is the voice of the Vedas, purity of mind is the abode of God. Sadhguruji often says this because purity of mind is the most important sadhana for anything. If you want to reach to the highest level, or if you want to just perform puja or anything, first you should purify your mind. Without purity of mind, you cannot gain anything, you cannot attain anything. Until and unless you clean your mind, self-realization becomes possible and man attains union with Brahman easily. There are many devotees who complain that their sadhana is not bearing fruitful results. How can it bear fruit when the mind is impure, when the mind is unclean, when you're not taking care of your mind? How can you improve in your sadhana? Can you sow a seed in a hard ground without tilling the soil? You have to make the soil fertile. If you want to sow seeds in the soil, you have to till the soil, you have to make the ground fertile. Then only you can sow seeds and the seeds will germinate gradually. Can a building stand erect without proper foundation? No. If the foundation is strong, even a skyscraper building will stand erect for years together at a stretch. There is no problem at all. The same implies to the mind. The mind should be prepared and cleaned of all its past vicious tendencies. Otherwise, it does not rest in Brahman. In the 6th and the 7th slokas in this 12th chapter, Sri Krishna says, Yetu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samurdharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavamina chirat partha 𝘰𝘰𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘪𝘴 chetasam. Sri Krishna says, renouncing all actions to God, considering Him as the sole refuge and final goal, highest goal, worshipping Him with undivided attention, with undivided mind. To such a devotee, the Lord bends and raises the struggling aspirant to the threshold of immortality. He raises him from the ocean of samsara. These words of Sri Krishna have the potency of nectar. These are nectarian words of Sri Krishna. Understand? Suppose a man is drowning in the river and suddenly he sees a life-saving boat coming across from the opposite direction. It's coming towards him. How does he feel? He feels so happy. I will be saved. The boat is coming towards me. I will be saved. So is the Lord for the true devotee, ever ready to protect him. One who is drowning in the ocean of samsara, the Lord is ever ready to protect him. In this sloka, na chirat partha 𝘰𝘰𝘷𝘦𝘳𝑃 chetasam, Sri Krishna says, na chirat. Na chirat means in this sloka that man is saved quickly, very fast. God is at the beck and call of him. Like how? Gajendra. How did the Lord Vishnu save Gajendra? The moment Gajendra prayed earnestly to Sri Vishnu to come and save him, when his leg was caught in the crocodile's mouth, the Lord immediately rushed to Gajendra, leaving aside Lakshmi Devi, his conch, his uttariyam, the cloth which they put on the shoulder, that his conch, his disc, his mace, everything he left. He came running to Gajendra. immediate, he saved so quickly. Even Prahlada, when Prahlada was tormented by his demon father Hiranyakashipu, the Lord was there. Whenever Prahlada prayed, he relieved him, he saved him from all the tortures which his father meted out to him. And Ambarisha, even King Ambarisha, when sage Durvasa was spelling curses because he felt insulted, he thought that Ambarisha insulted him by sipping water on the Dwadashi day without waiting for him. He didn't pay due respects to his Atithi Devo Bhava. So he spells curses. He tells that Ambarisha should be born in the lower species, in the wombs of the lower species, like the fish, the tortoise, the boar. So immediately Sri Vishnu comes in between them, stands and takes all those curses unto him. And this is how it led to the Dashavatara, like the Matsyavatara, Kurmavatara, Varavatara, Vamanavatara, all these avatars. Because of Durvasa's curse to Ambarisha, Sri Vishnu took upon himself the curses and he took the Dashavataras, the 10 incarnations. And Draupadi, as you all know, when she was being disrobed, she immediately called Krishna and he was there to protect her. So, Nachirat means the Lord comes quickly and saves his devotees. But which type of devotee? Who surrenders completely unto him? His total mind, 100% dedication, and whose mind is pure. Like a teacher instructing the student, Sri Krishna reveals that the first step is to fix the mind firmly in God. That is important. To fix the mind firmly in God, you have to clean the mind first. Along with the mind, the intellect also should be placed in him. Sri Krishna says, it is not only the mind that you should fix it on God, even the intellect, you should place it in the Lord. A doubt may arise. Why should we place the intellect in the Lord? Of course, we agree. Mind is wavering. It is fickle-minded. It is like a monkey jumping from one tree to another. So even so, the mind keeps jumping from one thought to another. It is like a common fly that perches on filth, immediately it perches on some savories. So we agree that mind should be fixed on God. But why the intellect? The intellect is the deciding power. And without its direction, the mind wavers and wanders away from the goal. The mind thinks and intellect decides. Supposing the mind wavers, then understand that the intellect has not taken the right decision. It is only when the intellect doesn't take the proper decision that the mind wavers. So Sri Krishna says that the intellect should be placed in him, and then meditation becomes intense and firm. It is only when you place the intellect along with the mind in the Lord that your meditation fructifies. It becomes intense, it becomes firm. You will be able to sit for a longer period without any disturbance. Man then lives in God. That means the mind merges in the self. You put salt in water. What happens? The salt dissolves. You can't separate the salt from the water. Likewise, the mind becomes that which it contemplates. So when it is contemplating on the self, it becomes the self. There is no mind. The mind vanishes. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho. The mind is the cause for bondage and liberation, because mind has the potency to make or mar the world. It has both positive as well as negative attitudes are there. Sri Krishna says that Abhyasa, in the 6th chapter, he said, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grishyate. Abhyasa. Abhyasa is very, very important. What is abhyasa? Constant practice. So those who are not fit enough to follow the abhyasa yoga, those who are not able to do any practice in sadhana, for such people, such people should perform noble deeds, good actions without expecting any results. That means they have to perform selfless actions, not selfish motivated actions, but selfless actions. After explaining the different spiritual practices, now Sri Krishna describes the attributes of the devotee. What are the qualities required for a devotee? Yo na hrushyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati 𝘠𝘩𝘓𝘨 bhaktiman 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝘴 𝘠𝑚𝑒. What is the meaning of this? One who is not elated, who does not hate, who does not grieve, who has renounced both good and bad, he is dear to the Lord. One who does not hate, in the sense, one who does not entertain hatred, one who does not entertain jealousy, who is friendly, who is compassionate, who is free from attachment and egoism, who is balanced in both happiness and sorrow, who is forgiving, who is always contented, steady in meditation, who is self-controlled and firm in conviction, who has surrendered his mind and intellect to the Lord. Such a devotee is dear to him. Yo na hrushyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati 𝘠𝘩𝘓𝑏𝑃𝑎𝑟𝑖tyagi bhaktiman 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑚𝑒 𝑝riyah, is very dear to the Lord. There are so many dualities in us. You call them dvandvas, dualities. What are those dualities? Joy and sorrow, raga and dvesha. Joy and sorrow is sukha dukkha. Joy and sorrow, happiness and sorrow. Then raga dvesha, likes and dislikes. Then praise and insult, friends and foes, heat and cold. These are all the dualities that stand in the way of self-realization. They cause an hindrance to move forward. Until and unless the mind is freed from these dualities, you cannot move forward for self-realization. Self-realization is impossible. So, what is Sri Krishna saying in this sloka? He is saying that one should remain balanced in both blame as well as praise, honor as well as dishonor. Generally, if someone praises you, how do you feel? You feel elated. You are puffed up with pride. You feel so happy. You're overwhelmed with joy. At that time, everything around you looks pleasant. Even if somebody is angry also, you're not bothered. You don't take it seriously. You're so pleasant, you're so happy because you're puffed up with that elation. But if anyone rebukes you or ridicules you, what happens? You're shaken up. You keep your head down. You bend your head low. And the entire world looks devoid of strength. You feel low. You think, I'm good for nothing. You feel frustrated. You feel dejected. This is what happens to us generally. But all these are inauspicious qualities. They are unnecessary for us. Because for those who want to take shelter in the supreme feet of the Lord, who want to realize the self, all these are useless. All these dualities, they should come above these dualities. What will you gain if one praises you? What will you lose if one abuses you or insults you? Nothing. Remember, you are not a small little lamp that is blown away by the storm by the strong winds of the breeze. You must recognize yourself as the Meru mountain. You are strong, you are firm, you are the Meru mountain, but not a little lamp flickering with the wind. You should not be influenced by the praises and blames of others. Never take it to heart. Now we'll know the story of 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝘴. There lived a pious couple named 𝘠𝘩𝘪𝘴 and his wife 𝘠𝑟𝑢𝑘𝑚𝑎𝑏𝑎𝑖. They lived in the city of Paithana on the banks of the river Godavari in Aurangabad district. It was in Paithana Taluk, Aurangabad district in Maharashtra state. After years of ritual penance and prayers, they were blessed with a son and they named him 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th. This happened in the 16th century. From childhood, 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th had a deep interest in spirituality. Once, while he was playing with his friends, he heard an inner voice calling him, "Go and meditate, go and meditate." So he immediately left his friends, sat at the foot of a tree, and started meditating. He was in deep meditation. He lost all body consciousness. After some time, his friends came searching for him and they found him at the foot of a tree. But the moment they saw him, they were so amazed. They just screeched out loudly. Why? They saw a venomous cobra coiled around his neck with its hood open above his head. It was like an umbrella, the hood open. The moment they screeched loudly, the cobra glided down and went away into the anthill there. And 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th came back to his body consciousness. His friends were relieved that the snake did not harm their friend 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th. They all went running to him, embraced him, and asked, 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th, how are you feeling? What was your experience in meditation? Then 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th said, I heard an inner voice telling me, go to Daulatabad. Daulatabad was in Aurangabad itself. Go to Daulatabad and meet Guru Janardana Pant. He will initiate you, take initiation from him. After this incident, 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th took the blessings of his parents. He bid farewell to his friends and went away to Daulatabad to meet Janardana Pant. He went there and requested the great saint to initiate him. Janardana Pant, instead of initiating him, he appointed him as an accountant in his home office. He had an office in his house itself, and he appointed him as an accountant and asked him to take care of the accounts. But 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th was not going to leave him because he heard the inner voice telling him to take refuge at his feet. He said, okay, he bowed down to the feet of Janardana Pant and he started his work. Janardana Pant was a householder guru. He had a family of his own, yet his mind was always in tune with the infinite truth. Every Thursday, he used to visit the forest and meditate and have the darshan of Lord Dattatreya, and then only he would return home after taking the darshan and blessings of Lord Dattatreya. Such a great saint was Janardana Pant, though a householder. 𝘴𝘦𝑛𝑎th was in charge of the accounts and was very sincere in his duty. He was committed to his duty. Once it so happened that there was a deficit in his accounts. There was a shortfall of some amount. The amount was very little. But Eknath took it very serious because he was very accurate. He wanted his accounts to be accurate. So he sat late in the night and worked on it. He was checking his accounts. Why is there a deficit in the accounts? He searched and searched, and it continued for 7 hours. After 7 hours, he found the mistake he had made in the accounts. The moment he found his mistake, he was so thrilled that he jumped up and started singing loudly. He started singing kirtans. Automatically, without any effort, they were just flowing from his tongue. The kirtans were just flowing from his tongue. So, in the next room was sleeping Janardana Pant. This kirtans and this jumping disturbed Janardana Pant's sleep. He immediately got up from sleep. And by that time, and what was the time? It was early morning. Janardana Pant opened his door, went into Eknath's room, and he was surprised to see Eknath jumping and singing songs in ecstasy. He was above body consciousness. He didn't know that his Guru Janardana Pant entered the room. He didn't know anything. He was just immersed in the Lord. He was in deep ecstatic mood. So Janardana Pant had to wait for a long time for Eknath to return to body consciousness. After Eknath returned to body consciousness, Janardana Pant inquired him the cause of his rejoicing, and Eknath explained about the deficit in the accounts and how he managed to rectify the mistake. Seeing his commitment to duty and the power of his concentration, the Guru was convinced that Eknath was ready for initiation. He thought, this boy is fit for initiation. Now the time has come. I should initiate him. And what was the Guru's initiation? It was not a mantra. It was above the mantra. He said, Eknath, divert your attention from the ephemeral objective world towards the eternal God. Divert your attention from the ephemeral objective world towards the Supreme Lord. This was the initiation which Janardana Pant gave to Eknath. Seeing the great devotion of Eknath, what did Janardana Pant do? On a Thursday, he took him along with him to the forest. Both of them sat in meditation. After some time, a tall man, looking very fearful, with red bulging eyes, red hot eyes, they were bulging out, and a long twisted mustache with 4 dogs came there and stood in front of them. Eknath was very scared to see his fearful form. He was looking very fierce. Janardana Pant fell at his feet, who then disappeared. Later, Janardana Pant reprimanded Eknatha, saying, why did you get scared? You should have fallen at his feet. He was none other than Lord Dattatreya. He had come to bless you, but you retrieved. Next time, don't do that again. I will get you again next Thursday. He had come in that form to test you. Don't get scared of him. So, as promised, the next Thursday, the Guru took Eknatha to the forest again. This time, they again sat in meditation. The moment they sat in meditation, there was thundering and lightning, and the same fearful form appeared with red bulging eyes, twisted mustache, very tall, fearful face, and he had 4 dogs with him, and this time he had 6 goats. He had 6 goats also with him. The moment he appeared, Janardana Pant opened his eyes, fell at his feet, and took his blessings. 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒, remembering his Guru's words, without getting scared, he too fell at his feet. The moment he fell at his feet, the fearful man lifted him up and gave him a sword. He said, kill these 6 goats. In the beginning, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 hesitated to kill the goats. He felt a little scared. Then, regaining courage, remembering his Guru's words and meditating upon his Guru, one by one after another, he killed the goats. The moment he killed the last goat, that fearful man disappeared from there, and in his place stood Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. All 3 of them got together and transformed into Lord Dattatreya. That was the time Lord Dattatreya embraced 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 and said, you have killed your 6 vicious enemies that were following you since several births. The 6 goats were the 6 vicious enemies. What are those enemies? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 was enthralled by the glory and splendor of the Lord. Behind him stood Kamadhenu, the celestial cow. He had the darshan of the Kamadhenu also. And then 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 was delighted to be blessed with the resplendent darshan of Lord Dattatreya. Lord Dattatreya said, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒, the 6 goats you have killed were the 6 vicious enemies that were following you since several births. Now you are free from them. These 4 dogs are the 4 Vedas. They represent universal knowledge. They are always with me. Now, your duty is to glorify me through your kirtans, and one day you will finally get absorbed in me. As 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 and Janardana Pant fell prostrate at his feet, Dattatreya blessed him and disappeared from there. At the behest of the Guru, it was later, at the behest of the Guru, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 went back to his parents and married a virtuous girl named 𝘰𝑰𝑷𝑗𝑎𝑏𝑎𝑖. After marriage, he and 𝘰𝑰𝑷𝑗𝑎𝑏𝑎𝑖, both husband and wife together, they visited many holy shrines and finally came to Pandharpur. 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 composed thousands of kirtans on Lord Panduranga and regularly visited Pandharpur on the 𝘴𝑘adashi days. On every 𝘴𝑘adashi day, he used to make a visit to the Pandharpur temple. And it was well known to everyone that 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 was a great saint who had conquered anger. Everybody came to know that he had killed the 6 goats. There was no anger in him. Everybody. So there was a rich man who was jealous of 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒's fame. Where there is positive, there is negative also. So here also, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 was not free. There was somebody to disturb him. This rich man was very jealous of 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒's fame, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒's tranquility. So he called a wicked person and said, if you can make the saint lose his temper, I will pay you 500 rupees. Imagine, this happened in the 16th century, and now you can imagine that 500 rupees means how many lakhs of rupees it will be. Now, in this present age, I will give you 500 rupees. So he lured him with money, and that wicked person was greedy for money. So he readily agreed. So with greed to earn the 500 rupees, the wicked man went to 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 and spat on his face while he was returning from the Chandrabhaga river after bathing in the river. The moment he spat on his face, 𝘴𝘦𝘴𝑎𝑒 did not utter a word. He just turned back, went to the river, bathed again, and came back. Again he spat. Again Eknath went back without uttering a word. There was no expression on his face. He was calm and serene. No expression of anger on his face at all. And not a word did he say. Calm and serene, he walked into the 𝘠𝘩𝘪𝘴 river, dipped himself, came back again. So this continued for 108 times. That means this wicked person spat on him 108 times, and 108 times Eknatha had a dip in the river 𝘠𝘩𝘪𝘴. At last he got fed up, disgusted with himself, the wicked person. He thought, what is this? He thought, after 108 times, he bowed down and prayed for forgiveness. He said, you are a Mahatma. I have not recognized you. In greed for money, I have agreed to make you angry, but I failed in my attempt. Forgive me for my wickedness. I didn't know you were so great. Then Eknatha said, he joined his palms, he did namaskaram and said, O Lord Panduranga, how merciful you are. You have come in this form, in the disguise of this man, Panduranga. I thank you for making me bathe 108 times in the river. Otherwise, 108 times is a significant, 108 is a significant number. When you do japa also, you turn the chapmala 108 times. You turn 108 beads. So 108 number is very significant. So he said, you made me bathe 108 times. I am so grateful to you. My gratitude to you. You have come in this man's form. O Panduranga, bless me, he said. This awakened the consciousness in the wicked man. And he cried like a child. He started weeping bitterly and he said, Saint Mahatma, forgive me for my folly. I was greedy to earn money and obeyed that rich man's orders. But you are truly a saint. Forgive me. Eknath gently smiled and said, my son, you should have told me before that you're doing this for the sake of money. So I would have pretended my anger and shown my anger on you. At least you would have got your 500 rupees. Why didn't you tell me before? I would have pretended to be angry with you. Then again he cautioned that wicked person, saying, see, God's name is the real wealth. There's nothing greater than God's name. And that association with saintly people is the real treasure. So after this incident, word spread around that Eknatha is a virtuous man, and the word spread about this incident, the wicked man spitting on him 108 times, and he was defeated. Knowing about this also, another evil person came forward to test him. See, where there is good, there is evil. Where the devatas are there, the rakshasas are also there. So this wicked man, this evil person, went to Eknath's house and began abusing him. He went on abusing and abusing. But Eknath, for hours on end, he kept on abusing, cursing the saint. But the saint remained unconcerned. Gradually, the man himself grew tired. He got so tired, he stopped his cursing. Then Eknatha said, my dear guest, it looks like you are weary, you are tired after giving such a long sermon. See what he says. After giving such a long sermon, you are tired. My wife has prepared food. Come, dine with me. Please sit with me and have the food. That man was shocked to hear this, but went inside to eat. Even then, when he went inside also, thoughts were lingering in his mind. No, I should make him angry. I should plan another. I should make another plan. As his wife was bending down, Eknath's wife Girijabai was bending down and serving food, this man suddenly got up and sat on a bank. He jumped and sat on a back. The moment he sat on her back, Eknath said, Girija, don't stand erect, otherwise the child will fall. See what Eknath is saying. Don't stand erect, the child will fall. And you know what Girija said? Yes, Swami. Do you remember our child when he was a little baby? He used to do the same thing, jump on my back. I'm remembering those old days. And she laughed. The moment this evil person heard the discussion, he got mad. He just jumped from her back, fell at her feet and said, Mother, forgive me. Forgive me for my wickedness. Just imagine, he said, I am a foolish person. I just wanted to make you angry, Eknatha. Forgive me for my folly. Then Eknatha blessed him, and that person also became an ardent follower of Eknatha. So this is how Eknatha, he was not touched by blame, or insult, or fame. Nothing could touch him. Such a great saint was Eknatha. After composing thousands of kirtans on Lord Dattatreya, Hanuman, and Panduranga, he finally merged in the Supreme Lord. So actually, censure and praise are mere vibrations of the wind. They are inert. Why should a person be influenced by such things, by censure or praise? Why should a person be influenced by them? The sound is born in ether, Akasha. Censure and praise are different forms of sound. They are coming from ether. Hear it through one ear and leave it from the other. This is a highway road. From one ear you hear it, from the other you leave it. Let it go straight. Redeeming oneself from the influence of praise and blame, it is a great patience. To be balanced in praise and insult, you really need great patience. And this is very much needed if you want to progress in the spiritual path, if you want to really have realization of the self. When the devotee is very much absorbed in thoughts of God, when he is totally absorbed in the thoughts of God, he remains silent and does not expend his vocal energy in useless talk. He does not waste his energy in useless talk or gossip. He remains silent. Here, don't mistake silence. Silent means to be silent, not talking. It is mauna. No, silence does not only mean mauna. It is silencing the mind also. You keep the tongue quiet. You don't talk, but you talk with your mind. You keep chattering with your mind. We even abuse people with the mind. Your tongue doesn't say anything. When you see a person doesn't say anything, but through the mind, you keep abusing him. The tongue remains quiet, but the mind never remains quiet. It keeps on chattering and chattering. Adi Shankaracharya says, so we are moving on further. Adi Shankaracharya says, people have not yet learned to offer the flower of their mind. See, here, when you are balanced, when you are above the dualities, just now we spoke about the dualities, then your mind becomes pure. So people have not yet learned to offer the flower of their mind to the Lord and remain in blissful quietude. We offer natural flowers to God. We offer so many types of flowers, lilies, jasmines, shoe flower, all that we get in the market, we offer those flowers to God. All myriads of flowers we offer. Along with these flowers, we also light agarbatti, incense stick, we light diyas, then we offer food, break a coconut, we go on pilgrimages. All this is devotion, bhakti. But what type of bhakti is this? This is samanya bhakti, ordinary bhakti, lighting the lamp, praying to God, doing japa, or doing parayana, reading a book, or going on a pilgrimage, or you are fasting. All this is ordinary bhakti, samanya bhakti. And Sri Krishna mentions you have to offer 8 flowers to the Lord. The flowers of virtue. What are those? Flowers of virtue and spiritual conduct. That is Vishesha Bhakti. All of us do Samanya Bhakti, but we should also follow Vishesha Bhakti. And what is that Vishesha Bhakti? You should offer 8 flowers, Ashta Pushpas, 8 flowers of virtue and spiritual conduct. And what are they? Non-injury, ahimsa, the flower of ahimsa, the flower of self-restraint, the flower of universal love, the flower of forgiveness, the flower of peace, the flower of austerity, the flower of meditation, the flower of truthfulness. These are most dear to Lord Vishnu. That is what Sri Krishna is saying in the 12th chapter. And again, he mentions about 35 qualities necessary to be possessed by a true devotee. These 35 qualities also happen to be the attributes of a jnani. So, all these 35 qualities are the essence. Both devotion and knowledge are the same. It is the essence that jnana and karma are the same. All these 35 qualities, what are they? These 35 qualities are absence of hatred, absence of jealousy, desire, the thought of I and mine, fear, elation, entertaining friendliness. You should entertain friendliness. You should have compassion. You should be balanced in joy and sorrow. You should have forbearance. You should have contentment. You should have self-control. You should be firm in determination and decision. You should have purity, purity in thought, word, and deed. You should have patience. You should have perseverance. This is triple P, known as triple P. Purity, patience, perseverance. And surrendering the mind, not only the mind, the intellect also to God. Competence in action, indifference, non-attachment, freedom from anxiety, renouncing the fruits of action, equal-mindedness towards friends and enemies, equanimity in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, praise and blame, maintain silence, and devotion to God. Maintain silence not only by tongue, maintain silence in thought also. So these are the 36 qualities required for an aspirant. Now, and this appeals to both jnana as well as karma. This is the essence of jnana yoga. This is the essence of karma yoga. Remember that. When the aspirant carries all these injunctions, which I have repeated just now, faithfully, when he follows it faithfully, the guru will be full of confidence that my disciple will prosper. He will be happy that about the future prospects of his disciple. Now the baby is in the mother's arms. How does it feel, the baby? I am safe. I'm in my mother's arms. Nothing will happen to me. I want my mother. I need my mother. I'm in my mother's arms. You carry a baby, anybody's baby, the baby will slowly show her arms to the mother only. It wants to go back to the mother. It wants the mother. Likewise, The devotee or aspirant who has obtained the divine grace of God need not have any fear about his life and spiritual fulfillment. Just like a baby is fearless, my mother is there to take care of me. Even so, the devotee should be fearless because the Lord will take care of him. But when will he take care of? Until and unless you purify your mind, until and unless you give your mind to the Lord, until and unless you give your intellect to the Lord, until and unless you get rid of all your weaknesses, your flaws, then only God will take care of you. Therefore, all devotees and seekers should strive to acquire these virtues and attain freedom. Now I'll tell you a small story from the Bhagavatam about Sri Krishna. It's a very beautiful story. I think you will really like it. It's very interesting. It describes about the 3 stages of bhakti. Sri Krishna was a boy of 5 years old and he was sitting in the jungle playing with the peacock. And just then, Gopika happens to pass by that way. She was going to the well to fetch water. She had a pot in her hand. The moment she sees Krishna, she thinks, oh my God, he is all alone. Oh, nice opportunity for me to spend some time. Because you know, the Gopikas were always fond of Krishna. They were so crazy after Krishna. They always wanted to be with him. So she thinks, this is a nice opportunity for me. So she goes to him. But she needs an excuse to be with him. Otherwise, Krishna will ask, why did you come? So she goes to Krishna and says, Kanhaiya, I'm all alone in this place. There are no people. It is all deserted. And I'm getting scared. I have to go to the well and fetch water. Will you come with me, please? She says. Kanhaiya says, what will you give me? See, give and take business, God. God won't come that easily. You have to give something. You have to offer something. What will you give me? She'll say, what do you want? Ask. Okay. You know, I want butter. Sure, I will give you butter. How much? He'll ask. How much you want? He'll ask in return. This much. He raises his hands and says, this much butter. Okay, I will give you that much butter. Come with me. So he'll go. He follows her. She goes to the well, fetches water. She comes back to her house along with Krishna. 5-year-old boy, remember that. And now he asks for butter. No, she has to give butter. She'll say, Kanhaiya, have to churn the milk to get the butter. Sit on this. She'll put one small stool there. You sit on this stool. Opposite that, she'll be churning the pot. That butter is there. She'll be churning. And as she's churning the pot of milk, her gaze is on Sri Krishna. She just looks at Sri Krishna without blinking her eyes. That is the first stage of bhakti. You go to a temple, you gaze at the idol, you sit in front. You sit in front of the idol, you just gaze at the idol. From top to toe, you look at the idol and you pray and pray. And that's what the Gopika was doing. The first stage of bhakti is visiting the temple and gazing at the idol. She looks and she thinks, what beautiful eyes is God. So beautiful, lotus-like eyes. What chubby cheeks, dimpled chin, rosy lips. My God, see that peacock plume on his head, that peacock feather, and see the anklet bells, and see his small belly, round belly, so sweet, and that waist belt, and that belly falling over the waist belt, his pitambar. My God, he's so sweet, he's so resplendent, he's just illuminating like 1,000 suns. She just admires and admires. So Krishna looks at her. Where is my butter? He will ask. Wait, I'm still churning the milk. So she keeps on churning the milk for the butter. Now she needs another excuse because she wants to spend time with Krishna. She needs another excuse. She says, Krishna, Kanhaiya, See, there is a grinding stone in that other room. You can see from your seat. Please go and get that. No. Imagine she's telling a small 5-year-old boy to get the grinding stone. That is also small, no doubt, but a 5-year-old boy. Then Krishna thinks, my God, what a world I created. What selfish people. Just to give me butter, she's making me do so many errands. She is making me run about. He'll say, okay, I'm at the beck and call of my devotees. Okay, I'll do what she says. He'll go to the room and he'll try to lift that grinding stone. He'll say, it doesn't get lifted up. It doesn't come to his hand. He gets so tired, but he has to do. She told him to get, so he has to take it. At last, somehow, he lifts that grinding stone and his pitambar falls down. The moment he lifts, he falls down. Without bothering to wear his pitambar, that small dhoti, he goes like that, nude only, carrying that stone. This Gopika laughs. She starts laughing, giggling. He gets wild. Why are you giggling? What is this, Krishna? I am a girl and you are a boy. And don't you know how you should behave in front of girls? Your pitambar has fallen down and you're not covering your body with a pitambar. Then he says, oh, you Maddie, you yourself told me to get that grinding stone. And how dare you tell me all this nonsense? See, I could carry that grinding stone after my pitambar fell. As long as there is 𝘸𝘰𝘳𝘪𝘴, as long as there is attachment to the body, you cannot render service in the world. This is the inner meaning of this incident. As long as there is 𝘸𝘰𝘳𝘳𝘪𝘴, as long as there is attachment, the thought of I and mine, you cannot render service. You cannot do any seva. The moment the pitambar fell, I could lift that grinding stone and bring it to you. He just gives a glare at her. She says, okay, let me finish my work. Now she needs another excuse. Now when Krishna was walking and going, she just looks at him. How beautiful his steps are, how gracefully he's walking. That is the second stage of bhakti, where you see God in all living beings. You move in the world, and as you move in the world, you see God in all living beings. That is the second stage of bhakti. Now, this Gopika needs another excuse to spend time with Krishna. So she thinks, Krishna, Kanaya, there is very little water in my house. I need to fetch water again. Please, fetch water from the well and then I'll give you the butter. Please, she requests him. He says, okay, for the sake of butter, I have to do all this. Okay, come, we'll go. This time she takes 2 pots. 2 pots, she goes along with him. Kanaya goes along with her. She takes the water from the well. 1 pot, she keeps it on her head. And to keep the second pot, you need somebody's help. You can't keep it because you have to bend down, pick up the pot and keep it on top of that pot. So it says, Kanaya, please help me to keep this pot on my head. No, I won't do this. I won't keep any pot on your head. I don't want your butter, anything. I'll go. No, Kanaya, please, don't go. I will give you the butter. Then he stays back. Suddenly, she sees a passerby, some stranger going from that way. She calls that stranger, and with the help of the stranger, she keeps the second pot on top of this pot on her head. And now what she does, she's scared where Kanaya will run away. She holds his hand and takes him to her house. This is the third stage of bhakti. When you are moving in the world, let your mind hold on to the divine feet. Don't forget God. When you're moving in the world, don't forget God. What is the first stage of bhakti? Seeing God in the temple, or you sit in the puja room in your house and see the photo and you do your prayers or japa, whatever it is. That is the first stage of bhakti. Second stage of bhakti, seeing God in all living beings. And third stage of bhakti is to carry God along with you, to carry God in your mind. She is holding his hand and taking him. So you too hold the hand of the Lord and take him along with you in whatever, whether you go to office, whether you are in the kitchen doing your domestic work, whatever you are doing, hold him tightly. Don't leave him for a minute also. This is the third stage of bhakti. So she takes him home, and now she has to get down the pots. So she'll tell Kanhaiya, she'll think, he didn't keep the pot on my head. Obviously, he won't remove the pot from her head. Anyhow, let me give a chance. There's nobody here. She'll just casually ask, Kanhaiya, please remove this pot from my head. Wait. I will remove it. Immediately he'll say, I will remove the pot. Suddenly, the small stool is there. He'll climb that stool and he'll remove the pot from the head and keep it down. She gets a shock of her life. She'll think, what is this strange behavior, Kanhaiya? Near the well, when I asked you to put the pot of water on the head, you refused. And now when I asked you to remove, you said, wait, and immediately you come and remove the pot. What is this? I'm unable to understand your actions. Then do you know what Krishna says? He says, hey Gopika, see, I'm here in this world not to keep burdens on somebody's head. You call me and I readily come and remove the burden from your head. What is the inner meaning of this? The burden of sansar, we keep it on our head with our own hands. And who removes it? When we call out, when we supplicate to the Lord, 100% dedication, when we call out to the Lord wholeheartedly, with a pure mind, with a pure intellect, unblemished, flawless, then the Lord comes and removes that burden of sansar from our head. This is the inner meaning. And I hope you understood the meaning of the story, the 3 stages of bhakti. So every day when we do puja, remember this story and try to move forward in the spiritual path. So always be on the watch. WATCH, watch. Watch your words. Watch your actions. WAT. Watch your thoughts. What is the next alphabet? C. Watch your character. Then H. Watch your heart. That means reflect, introspect, and move forward in life's journey so that you become a better person in life. Now we end this session here. Now let's repeat the slokas. Today we'll be ending the dhyana slokas. The last sloka from the dhyana sloka is the 12th today. So today we'll complete learning the dhyana slokas and then we'll go to the 12th chapter sloka. So let's repeat. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa.
Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa.
Pashyantiyam yogino.
Pashyantiyam yogino. Pashyantiyam yogino. Pashyantiyam yogino.
Yasyantam na viduh suraganaha.
Yasyantam na viduh suraganaha. Yasyantam na viduh suraganaha. Yasyantam na viduh suraganaha.
Devaya tasmai namaha.
Devaya tasmai namaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. देवाय तस्मै नमः
ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा
पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो
पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो
यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः
यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः
देवाय तस्मै नमः
देवाय तस्मै नमः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः.
Now we'll go to the chapter 12 sloka. Yo na hrushyati na dveshti.
यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि
Na shochati na kankshati.
न शोचति न काङ्क्षति न शोचति न काङ्क्षति न शोचति न काङ्क्षति
Shubha shubha parityagi.
शुभाशुभ परित्यागी शुभाशुभ परित्यागी शुभाशुभ परित्यागी
Bhaktiman yassa me priyah.
भक्तिमान यस्य मे प्रियः भक्तिमान यस्य मे प्रियः भक्तिमान यस्य मे प्रियः
Yo na hrushyati na dveshti. Na shochati na kankshati.
यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति
Shubha shubha parityagi. Bhaktiman yassa me priyah.
शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान यस्य मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान यस्य मे प्रियः.
Now let's repeat the slokas from Om Pathaya Dhyana slokas.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महते वसुदेवसुतं देवं 𝘴𝘰𝑗𝑎𝑁𝑂𝑟मर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैः कैवर्तक केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थकन्दोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः ऋग्वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अतः श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय। अर्जुन उवाच न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा। श्रीभगवानुवाच जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायोष्य कर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते। असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कळेभरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः अपि चेत्सु दुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशयस्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च मत्कर्मा कृन्मत्परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः.
Hope all of you have noticed the pronunciation, because some people were going wrong in the pronunciation. Just take care of your pronunciation while learning the slokas. Now let's end this session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.